It was a night of nervous anticipation. The 2016 U.S. presidential election had captured the attention of the globe, polarizing a nation with its intensity and unpredictability. Red and blue states flickered on screens across the country. Early signs showed a tight race. Florida teetered. Michigan wobbled. Pennsylvania, always a battleground, hung in the balance. But then, just after midnight, the tide shifted. NBC News interrupted regular coverage. We can now project that Hillary Rodham Clinton has won the state of Pennsylvania, putting her over the 270 electoral vote threshold. Hillary Clinton will be the next president of the United States. Cheers erupted from crowds gathered at the Javits Center in New York City. The symbolic glass ceiling, though still intact above the crowd, had been shattered in spirit. Hillary Clinton became the first woman elected to the presidency, defeating Donald Trump in a tense and divisive campaign that reshaped the political landscape of America. Like and subscribe for more. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell for more history documentaries. Please watch the video till the end, as good interaction would help the performance of the video and the growth of my channel massively. A different outcome. How did Clinton win? In this alternate timeline, a few decisive factors tipped the electoral scales. Clinton's campaign invested heavily in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, three critical states she lost by razor-thin margins in real life. Her messaging pivoted in the final weeks, reaching disaffected, white working-class voters with a clearer economic plan, while also energizing urban and minority voters with a more progressive, inclusive message. FBI Director James Comey, under pressure not to appear politically biased, chose not to send his late October letter about the renewed email investigation, avoiding the damage it caused in our timeline. Meanwhile, disinformation efforts from Russian operatives were exposed and countered more aggressively, reducing their impact. These subtle changes helped Clinton secure a narrow electoral college win, 278 to Trump's 260. The reaction: a nation divided. Barack Obama praised Clinton's victory as a triumph of democracy and progress, declaring it a step forward for equality and dignity. Across the country, jubilant scenes unfolded among women, minorities, and Democrats. Donald Trump initially refused to concede, claiming voter fraud and a rigged system. Protests by his supporters erupted in several cities. However, without institutional support and facing rebukes from prominent Republicans, Trump's resistance faded, and he eventually delivered a concession speech heavy with grievance. A symbol for women, feminism recharged. Clinton's win sparked a global movement. Women across the world took to social media and the streets, celebrating the milestone. In developing countries, her presidency became a beacon of hope and proof that leadership roles were not reserved for men. A new wave of young women entered politics, citing Hillary as a role model. The Clinton presidency, policies and priorities. The cabinet and agenda. Clinton assembled a cabinet filled with veterans of the Obama administration and some fresh, progressive faces. Elizabeth Warren took a prominent role as Treasury Secretary, signaling a more aggressive stance on Wall Street reform. Vice President Tim Kaine served as a loyal bridge builder in Congress. Her domestic agenda prioritized healthcare, gun control, criminal justice reform, and infrastructure investments. The economy continued its post-Great Recession recovery. Clinton's administration passed a moderate stimulus package and expanded funding for education and clean energy. The stock market grew steadily, though not as explosively as during the Trump administration. Job growth remained consistent. Social issues. Under Clinton, there was greater emphasis on civil rights and policing reform. In response to the growing Black Lives Matter movement, she initiated a federal review of police departments and proposed national standards for use of force and body cameras. First Gentleman. Bill Clinton reinvents the role. The media fixated on First Gentleman Bill Clinton. While some commentators dredged up old scandals, many Americans viewed him with nostalgia. He focused on health and education initiatives, championing early childhood development programs, and working closely with Michelle Obama on nutrition and school lunch policies. Though his presence was occasionally a distraction, Bill largely stayed behind the scenes. Foreign policy. Stability over disruption. Clinton's foreign policy was more traditional than Trump's would have been. Mexico and immigration. She pushed for comprehensive immigration reform, including a path to citizenship, and abandoned the idea of a border wall. Russia and Europe. Clinton took a hard stance on Russian aggression. Sanctions remained in place, and NATO was strengthened. When Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, Clinton led a swift international response, coordinating with the EU for economic sanctions and military aid to Kyiv. Climate change. Rejoining and bolstering the Paris Agreement, she pushed for clean energy subsidies, emissions regulations, and international cooperation on climate. The COVID-19 pandemic, a different response. In 2020, when COVID-19 emerged, Clinton's approach was cautious and science-driven. The CDC and NIH were empowered, mask mandates were introduced early, and lockdowns were coordinated with state governments. Though the virus still claimed many lives, the early national strategy helped reduce the death toll significantly. Vaccination rollout began in late 2020 with fewer logistical issues, and the public messaging campaign avoided politicization. Clinton's calm, maternal tone was often compared favorably to past wartime leaders. The 2020 election, a second term? Facing Clinton in 2020 was Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri, who surged to the Republican nomination with a populist nationalist message echoing Trump's. Despite the challenges of the pandemic, Clinton's steady hand and successful vaccine rollout earned her re-election with 52% of the vote and 306 electoral votes. The legacy. How Hillary Clinton would be remembered. By the end of her second term in 2025, Clinton was seen as a competent, if not revolutionary, leader. She presided over a steady economy, global cooperation, and a reduced cultural divide, though critics accused her of being overly cautious and politically calculating. Nevertheless, history would likely remember her as a trailblazer, the first woman president, a symbol of resilience, and a stabilizing force after one of the most divisive campaigns in American history. Conclusion. In this alternate history, Hillary Clinton's presidency may not have been marked by wild headlines or cults of personality, but it might have provided a steadier, more traditional path forward. Her victory, both symbolic and political, reshaped global feminism, American politics, and perhaps even the future of democracy itself. What do you think? Write your opinion and version of the story in the comments below. Please be polite and kind. If you want to know what would have happened if the Confederacy won the Civil War, click on the video on the left. Thanks for watching.